think that it's important for us to rewrite our stories about food because so much of the story that we have, that we continue to tell ourselves and listen to and follow and believe, was not written by us. So it's not really, in some ways, not really our story. People go, well, what do you mean by that? First of all, I don't even know what you mean by my story, and what do you mean it's not written by me? So, when we grow up, from day one till today, we hear things said to us, we see things done, and we gain an understanding of the way the world works by, yes, Kitty, by those experiences. So in a sense, it becomes a story. So for example, what came up in the Food for Thought meal last night was some example of, we were talking about cakes, birthday cake and sweet food. And I was saying that part of our story is that cake is for birthdays, and that when I'm sad or I'm depressed, something sweet will make me feel better. Or if I'm feeling deserving or I've worked extra hard, something sweet like cake is what's going to make me feel better emotionally. So, to me, what I'm saying about the whole story piece is there is nothing inherently true about that cake makes one feel better, because not everyone feels that way. I know some people who think that it's fast food. Ask me, give me a choice. If I'm going to go eat something that's not something that I'm supposed to eat because it's not good for my body, it's not something sweet. It's probably fast food. So that's part of my story, that if I want to feel good about something, if I want food to help me feel better, I'll eat that. So if that part of the story doesn't serve you, then we have to look at that and decide, well, how do I rewrite that piece of my story about my relationship with food and my body so that as I live into that story, it's reinforcing a positive? Now, rewriting the story doesn't necessarily mean that you no longer use that particular food to deal with that particular need in your life. My wife will still eat chocolate when she's stressed from PMS, but her relationship, the story that she lives into about that, is different today than it was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You can rewrite the story. It's your story. I'm not going to tell you how to rewrite the story. Don't think for 1 second that what I'm saying is rewrite the story where you don't eat sweets to deal with feeling tired or needing something that makes you feel like you did good today. I'm not saying that. That's not up to me. That would be me writing your story. You write your story to go for it.
Okay, you said that your wife has rewritten her story with regard to chocolate. How did that help her?
Well, she feels less obsessive about chocolate.
Okay.
She feels like chocolate doesn't rule her life, that she has a different way of controlling, in a healthy way, how and when and where she eats chocolate. And, the normal concerns. And I don't want to talk about my wife too much and out her a lot, but, she's the first to admit that she's a chocoholic and she loves chocolate and she can eat a lot of chocolate. Well, it's not really that healthy for her once she gets past a certain amount. It's true for anybody, right? Chocolate goes a long way. So she's much more relaxed around when she does eat chocolate, how much she eats and how she enjoys it, and allows that up and down that goes with hormones or emotions or different times in her day, in her life, she allows that the story is one of give and take with chocolate. So in other words, one perfect example, I guess, would be that around PMS, that time of the month for a lot of women, they crave chocolate. It offers them endorphin kickers. It offers them, I think it's magnesium or manganese, trace minerals. There's lots of science behind why a lot of women crave chocolate. Some of it's emotional, some of it's physical. Well, and every woman I've ever worked with feels bad about it, that they eat so much chocolate when they're in that time of the month. Well, Sarah's rewritten her story so that she stops feeling so guilty and shameful about the fact that she eats a lot more chocolate during that time of the month. Because the rest of the month, it's a much more balanced, relaxed, moderate thing for her. So her story is, hey, I'm not going to sweat it during that time of the month. I'm going to be much more relaxed, controlled, and not as obsessive about it for the rest of the